Show! It's so wonderful to see you all. How are you all doing? Wow, are you ready for the summer holidays? Yeah, it certainly sounds like it. I bet you're all rushing to finish up your work and put on that out-of-office auto reply, right? It was the same for ex-Wagner boss Yevgeny Prigozhin, who decided that the easiest and fastest way to end the war in Ukraine was by ending Putin. And I get it. It must be so hard if you look like him. When you basically look like a Bond villain and you've got a leader of your country who already is one, what are you going to do? But don't worry, Yevgeny. The uprising might have failed, but you get to spend a hot mercenary summer in a free-thinking, independent country with no links to Russia whatsoever. And I'm sure he's going to be just fine in Belarus. What could possibly go wrong? Meanwhile, just in case the nuclear apocalypse does come, I have figured out where I'm going to hide it out. Somewhere that's never going to be a target. Of course, the Committee of the Regions. True story. In news slightly closer to home, the EPP has been backing anti-environmental stances recently. Have you heard about this? Yes, I know. It's terrible. In fact, Manfred Weber has been leading the opposition to the EU's nature restoration law, which surprised me because I didn't know that Manfred Weber was still active in European politics. I haven't heard from him in 4 years? And whilst it might be tempting to think that this is to get the farmers' vote in the 2024 election or to get one up on Ursula von der Leyen for stealing the top commission job, I think Manfred just hates nature. And can you blame him? If I had a hairline like that, I would hate nature too. Meanwhile, in slightly better news for the European People's Party, Greece just held its second round of elections where the center-right New Democracy Party won, and so they're going to stay in government. But unfortunately, they're not the only winners. 3 far-right parties have made it into government too. Okay, one person is against fascists. And not only that, but one of those parties in particular is a bit scary. They're called the Spartans. Can we get a photo of the logo? It looks like it's drawn by a child, I know, but in all fairness, they've only been around for 3 weeks. And they got into government. That's not scary at all. Now, like most fascist parties, they want to go back to traditional values, back to ancient Greece, in fact, a time when men were men and 100% heterosexual. Now, Spartans, maybe if you want to project straight masculine energy, you should look to some more established far-right parties around Europe, like, Santiago Abascal from Vox in Spain, because that's... Maybe not. Well, incidentally, happy Pride Month, everybody. Yes. Let's kill them with kindness and love, shall we? All of this makes me a little nostalgic for the good old days when you didn't have so many extremists, because it feels like so many parties around Europe are turning to the far right. And remember back in the day when you had more moderate, dependable leaders? In fact, we lost one such leader recently. I am, of course, talking of the passing of Silvio Berlusconi. We here at the Schuman Show will always remember his respect for women, his diplomatic acumen, and, of course, his fashion sense. Well, on the bright side, now at least he gets to be stiff forever. Whoa, too soon? Now, don't feel too bad for Silvio, because his polling's so high that if he were to run in the 2024 European elections, he'd probably still win a seat in the European Parliament and probably show up in Brussels the same amount of times. Imagine that. Imagine being the assistant to a dead MEP. You wouldn't have to do anything. Because we all know who does the real work, am I right? Yes. Are those groans from actual members of European Parliament's assistants in the crowd? Make some noise if you're an accredited parliamentary assistant. Oh, I was one once too, I feel you. And actually, Appas, our first sketch is especially for you. Enjoy the Schuman Show, everybody.